Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Resin Me Up. And you know, yesterday when I said that we were going to work with resin mold box, guess what? I thought it was Monday. And it's not. It's Wednesday. Coasting through the week Wednesday. So good thing I've already prepared some stuff for today. So Coasting Through the Week is a collaboration between myself, Marva at Marvelous Artsy, Tammy at Epoxy Me That, Laura at Laura's Design Studio, and Tim the Base Resinator. And what this is all about is we come together every Wednesday and we all create something that has to do with coasters. And anyone can join. All you have to do is send us your link to the video and we'll get it in the playlist and you are in. So here's what I'm gonna do today. Last week I introduced a new technique to you and it was using liquid latex in resin. So this week I decided to try some stencils with that same technique. Well, I tried it on the coaster. That didn't work. At least not with the stencils that I have. Now maybe if you had some other stencils that maybe stuck down to the coaster itself, maybe that would work, but because the liquid silicone is like water, it went underneath and did not work. So what I did instead was I put the stencil underneath and then I traced it that way. Now, what I also learned is that you have to use a stencil that's pretty chunky, meaning wide areas, because if you connect any of those pieces, your liquid latex runs all together. So those two are done. I'm going to do this one with you so that you can see how I did this. And then yesterday I had some extra resin left over, and so I put that in this tray just around the edge. So I want to use, or not use, because I don't have a stencil that big to put in here, but I want to use a stencil on this tray as well. And then we'll decide, well, I know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to tell you what I decide I'm going to do next. So here I still have the latex, and I did learn that don't shake your latex because that incorporates bubbles into your latex and then that comes out into the latex when you put it down. So basically what I did is I started from the center and I just, for my centerpieces, I just squeezed it until it created that center, just like that. I didn't, you know, squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. I just squeezed it like you're going to do like a glue dot. And then these coasters are pretty shiny, so I did find that because these coasters are shiny, some of the latex pulled back, and so I had to go back after the other latex hardened up just a tiny bit and reapply, which you can do that. So then I just went over here and just outlined that. See how that's pulling back over there? And that's fine. You can go back after it gets that skin, you know, on the top, which it doesn't take long for that to happen. See it pull back? And it's because the silicone coasters are really shiny. But I just persevered. Once you leave it sit for just a little bit, it gets that skin on top, and you can go ahead and add to it. And see how a lot of those are already drying. So then what I do is I take a brush and I go in and I pop those. And then I'll go over them with, got that. So then once that dries, then it'll be ready. Now on that, I don't have a stencil. So I am going to have to make my own design. So we're just going to have to wing it. So we'll start off with a circle in the center, like all of those do. I'm going to use that as my middle. Okay, you guys, I don't want to bore you to death, so let me get this on here, and then I'll come back, okay? All right. Okay, guys, not my best work, but it'll do. Good grief. On such short time frame. I mean, I could take forever, you know, and do it, but I didn't want to do that. And measure it all out and make it all perfect, but... Okay, so now we get to wait for that to dry. The other one's almost dry completely. I keep forgetting to use my trash can. So... once I'll put a fan on this so that'll dry faster, and then when these are dry I'm going to come back and again we're going to do the next step. Okay, all right. That almost looks like a, what's the wheel on the boat look like when you're sailing? Okay, we'll be back when this is dry. Okay, all right. BRB. Okay, y'all, welcome back. So this is what we're going to do. My tray is, I had to put it in the G3 so that it could get it was almost done, so I was just kind of finishing off. But in the meantime, I mixed up resin, and we're going to pour these coasters. And what we're going to use today is the CRAFTOR Black Epoxy 1:1. So I've mixed up some already. I mixed up 500 mLs. Not sure how much of this I'm going to need, but if we have extra, we have extra. So, this is mixed. I'm not going to run it through my vacuum chamber because the black epoxy from CRAFTOR is pretty good at being bubble free. Whenever you pour it, so I'm not a fan of black. Black is so messy. I know I've said that like a billion trillion times, but it's just so messy. Messy, messy, messy. Stains everything. It's kind of like red, red alcohol ink. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get these 3 poured. Move this over here, and we're going to fill them up. This is kind of full. Let me get my tray out of the G3 here, just 1 second. Okay, some of these are still just a little wet, but I think they'll be okay because the top layer is completely dry, so we should be all right. That was perfect. Perfect amount. Set that over there. And go underneath this edge just a little bit. Okay, there's that. Now, slide this around. Bring these a little forward so that I can go around their edge. Just to make sure we don't have any bubbles hiding in there. Okay, I'll go ahead and get these bubbles and everything taken care of, and then we will be back on demold. Okay? All right. See you in a little while. Bye. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. So these are ready to come out of their molds. However, I want to show you guys something. Do you guys remember a few weeks ago when I was saying that UV resin on top of resin does not make a good connection? And I got lots of questions about that in the comments. And I tried to explain it, but because I've been moving things back into my room, I have shelves that are behind me on the wall, and it's got a whole bunch of things that I made in previous years. Well, I found something today that is going to show you an example of what I was talking about. So this is a jar that I made 2 years ago for St. Patrick's Day. Those are tattoos that I put on the inside. They didn't work well because they, when you put a tattoo down, or at least these tattoos, they were sticky on the backside, so I couldn't do anything about it. So they stayed that way. Well, on the lid to this, which is, see how dusty that is? The lid to this, I put a shamrock tattoo on the inside of it, and then I covered it with UV resin. Well, this is what I was talking about. This is the UV resin that was on top of that shamrock. And when I pulled it down off the shelf, this was inside the jar, stuck to the side. I couldn't figure out what that was. And so the UV is just not a good bond over time. It may stay now, but eventually it will lose its bond on top of resin. I don't know why. It's just not a good, it's just not good on top of regular resin. And I used to make shakers all the time, and I used to use UV resin for the tops, and I would sell those, and people would be coming back to me saying that the UV resin, the tops would come off. And so what I found was at that time that it was the UV resin, because it wouldn't bond to the top, and that's why. So I just wanted to show you guys an example. And I think I heard Michelle say it the other night too, that UV resin does not bond well on top of resin. So this is a perfect example of how that happens. So, and this is 2 years. So it may last for, I don't know how long that's been sitting in there, because like I said, this was up on a shelf, and I was cleaning off that shelf, dusting and everything, and this is the way it was. So this is the example that I wanted to show you of what I was talking about, why UV resin will not bond over time on top of resin. So, okay? So that is what I was trying to explain in the comments the other day, and I wasn't doing a very good job of it. So there it is. Okay? All right, so there's that. Now, let's, one hair in there. Partially in and partially out. So let's get these out. These are going to be so cool. And that's all the latex. And I know it's hard to see with the black. But we're going to get that out of there. I thought about demolding them and then taking it out for you guys before I brought you back on, but I wanted to show you what they look like now. Now this one, I got to thinking after I put this on here, this is the bottom, I think. No, it's the inside of the thing, right? So this thing is so hard to demold, y'all. Not kidding. It takes quite a bit to get that undone. There, once you get it though, it's easy to get it off. There's still some mica powder left from, I didn't even see that. Thought I had all that wiped off. Oh well, that's all right. That's not done yet, but it's not ready to come out yet. It's still a little soft. So we're just gonna bend this back over and let it finish curing in there. It's just a little soft. And I don't want to, so we'll let that. Now let's get these out of here. If I can remember what sorry, I keep hitting the camera with my hat. Okay. Just remember, once you get it started, it'll come right out. It's just getting it started. I don't remember what I did with my weeding tool. So you guys know how I do this. So let me get all of these out of here. And then I'll be back and I'll show you what we're going to do. Because I'm positive you guys don't want to sit here and watch me do this. Okay? All right. BRB. Okay. Got it all off of there. That's what it looks like. So pretty cool, huh? Didn't take that long. I thought it would, but it didn't. Okay. So experiment number 2. We're going to see if we can brush it with intense chameleon powder, dark green. Don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. Right? I don't even know if it'll stick to it. Well, looky there. Now, what I want to figure out is whether or not, after we brush these and fill them, whether or not this will still look 3D after we cover it with resin. I think I'm going to use a different color and then a different color for the flower. And then on this one, I think I'm going to brush this around this edge. Tomorrow is the last day of school. Can you believe it? It's crazy. Seems like they just started school. Okay, there's that one. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one, except I'm going to change my tool. I'm going to use this instead. See if that'll give me a little less cleanup. Oh, yeah. The reason I like this green is because it color shifts to like purple and blue and... Okay, there's that one. Let's put on the outside of this one. I'll tie them all together, but I don't want them to be exactly the same. Yes, I know, Soya. You act like you're dying of starvation. You still have 45 minutes. I wish I had like a buzzer on my phone. So like, you know, when I get out of frame, buzzes me. Not you too. Good grief. These guys are like a bunch of kids. Got one in here meowing, and we've got one out there whining. All right, so there's that. All right, let me go ahead and finish this so you guys don't have to sit here and watch, and I'll be back, and I'll mix up some resin, and we'll get the resin on top of these, okay? All right, I got to clean them up too, so BRB. Okay, guys, these are done. I used the 1 hour fast cure. I went ahead and just topped them because I mean, you've seen me do it a million times, but what do you guys think? That was a bit of a booger to get those all colored, but what do you think? It was quite interesting. And then to get them all cleaned up too. Oh boy. Now, some of these are really hard to get clean, so like this one has a little bit of powder still on it. Wait till you see the tray. The tray's a hot mess. Try to get that. Let me turn this light off here because it's glaring. Might help a little bit. Yeah. Now it's not so bad. So it turned out really nice. So now we know what it looks like brushed with intense chameleons. For those of you that were saying that you thought it would look pretty cool. So that's what it is. Now the tray, it's a hot mess. And the reason I'm saying that is because look at all that. When I went to wipe the tray off, the black was just sticky enough still that when I wiped it off, it stuck. I couldn't get it off. So it's a hot mess. But that's what it looks like too. I definitely like the coasters way better, but I mean, I don't know. Had I known that that was still a little tacky still, even though it didn't feel tacky, I wouldn't have brushed it. I would have left it and did it tomorrow. But you can definitely see the depth in those because these were deeper. You can see that they're deeper. So, and to make them deeper, you know, more of a crevice in there, you have to make your latex thicker. And you can see that on some of these. Some of them are thicker. So you just have to make your latex a little thicker. Now these you can all see because they were thicker. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So there's another technique for you with the latex. So there you have it, guys. There is my coasting through the week video. So make sure you go out and check out the playlist. I'm going to put that in my description box so you can go out and enjoy all of the videos that were added in and see what everyone else created. I have not even looked at YouTube today, so I couldn't tell you anything about any videos that were done today. I do know Gloria from Coasting, I can never get her name, her thing, Coastal Resin by Gloria. That's what it is. I always know when she does a video because she emails me every week to put her link out there. So I always know she has a video. But as far as anybody else, I haven't been out there, so I couldn't tell you. So, all right, I'll get pictures, put these at the end of the video so that you can see them up close and personal. And we will see you tomorrow for another video. So everyone have a great night. Remember, stay curious, stay creative, always stay positive and be kind. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.